Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It is our 10 years wedding anniversary. We've been married successfully for 10 years, and this whole series is us going to x-ray our lives in the 10 years, how we met, how it's been, the issues we had, the problems we had in our marriage, how we tackled our issues, how our wedding was, what we went through, and how we succeeded in 10 years. This is what we'll be talking about tonight on this show. Welcome again to my live video. This is Comfort Zone right here on my YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed, please just consider subscribing. All right, now let's get into it. I have here my very delectable fine boy, no pimple. His name is Pastor Bowei. He's an amazing guy. We've been married for 10 years. And we'll be talking about how we met, or before we met. Let's start from before we met. What was your life like? What were you doing? You know, how did we meet? But we'll start from before we met.
Okay, welcome guys and welcome to the show. It's been an awesome first of all, awesome 10 years of marriage, and it's not been easy. You know, marriage is beautiful, but with ups and downs. And God has just been faithful to us and also faithful to me. So thank God, God has been faithful for 10 years, and also thank God for giving me a wife like this. You know, marriage, they can say, is not easy. It's not a bed of roses like they will say, but I think I've been sleeping on a very good bed of roses for quite a while now. 10 years has been good. So we'll begin from, you said how we met, or life before we met, or which one?
Life before we met. What was your life like before we met?
Okay. Good, not I would say good, because I would say boring, because my life was just simple. It's just church and walk, church and walk.
His life was boring
and walk. There's nothing else I was doing. I came into Enugu in 2008 for my NYSC and joined my church, and it was just youth service, church, youth service, church. Then we finished youth service and 2009, and we went on 1 year of sabbatical, of no money, 1 year of lots of issues.
Please just say you were poor. Life. Don't be saying 1 year of.
I can't say I was poor because I didn't come from a poor background. But in Enugu at that moment, I was poor. As I say, after NYSC, there was no job.
Poverty wanted to kill you.
House rent has expired. You know, there was no renewal, and I actually did not want to go back home because of vision. We will talk about that later. And I had some issues with my dad, so which made me not go back home, and my house rent was not renewed. So at some point,
hold on, your father didn't pay your house rent again?
No. He said he wanted me to come back home.
Okay.
I'm his first son. You know, he has a business. He's also a pastor. And this pastor thing, I've done it in school. So come back home, join me in the ministry, and also join the business. And I said no, because I had a vision for my life. And I know what God told me. Stay back in Enugu and follow my mentor. You know, and he said, okay, when you are done, you will come back. And what was the skill? When my NYSC house rent finishes, I'm supposed to be coming back home after 1 year. I said, I'm not coming. So, no house, no job, no money, no nothing.
He wasn't sending you money?
No. So, I had to start, first of all, squat in different places, because I was playing drums in church. I was squatting in this brother's house.
We need to talk about the squatting. He was a chief squatter. That, in fact, international squatter of Dominion City, Enugu. All right? He squatted from house to house. Please, we need to name all the places he squatted.
Okay, I think, where did I start from? I think the beginning was with one of our brothers called Okena. If you guys watching,
he was in the choir.
He was in the choir. Almost all of them are in the choir. Okena was the first person I started talking with, and I was in his house for a while. At some point, he had younger ones who were supposed to come into school. They were coming to resume school, so I had to leave. At one point, my bags were in Okena's house. So, if you know, there's a popular MC franchise, you know, on radio, on TV now, and he had a fiancé at that time. So, and we had another, the Mijesi family, Kelechi, Casey, and his sister Chidima. So we had to talk to Frances and talk to Isabella. Okay, so Casey and his sister were staying together because they were in school upstairs. Isabella was living alone downstairs, and we were all in the same church. So what do we do? And in the choir. So Frances had to talk with his fiancé, so that we can beg Casey's sister to come down and start living with Frances's cousin, so I can live with her brother upstairs on the third floor. You know, this self-contained 1 room, kitchen, bathroom, toilet in the same apartment. So they agreed, and that was how we were. So sometimes I'll finish because it was a small place. Casey's properties, his sister properties were there. So my property was on Okena's place in the same street. So I finish taking my bath here. I'll rush to Okena's place to go and change my clothes.
So you take your bath in one place, then you dress up in one
Just
place.
it's trackable. Just maybe 1 minute trek in the same street and go. I finally moved some things, but my pictures, books, a lot of other things were in Okena's house. So when that whole one expired, I think from Chidima's place, I think I went to Oni place. It's called Oni. He's a pastor now. He's a pastor in Owerri with one of the growing churches, Dhaka. You know, the mother went for Omugwo, I think in another state, and that a very mighty house. You know, and the mother doesn't really like people staying with them, so he had to give me opportunity to stay there. I think for 2 months or 3 months. So I was there also in Transekulu in Enugu. You can make those required. It's called White House in Enugu. So while I was there for some time, the mother was returning back. I had to pack. You know, so I had to leave, and then I think I left there. And then nowhere to go again. I went to church. So I slept in the church for some months.
How many months?
I think it's about 3 months.
You are sleeping in church premises?
In church for 3 months on top of table at the conference room on the 3rd floor of a place called 95
Chime. I remember 95 Chime.
The conference room. This was in 2009 slash early 2010.
And you were graduates?
Graduate, finished his service.
You were a drummer in church?
I was a drummer in church. I was in choir. Nobody knew about it. So I was sleeping in church until one day.
Where were you bathing?
Okay. There's a school called New Generation School. Ground floor. So early morning I have to wake up. You know, so issues. When you say I don't know why I don't wake up early every day, you don't have problem. When you have problem, your body system will be arranged to wake up. I wake up very early. I go downstairs behind the school. They have white sand there. There's a tank. I take water. I bathe.
In the open?
Yes, no, there's a fence. The school is a fence. This fence is a fenced compound.
Yeah, it's
so
fenced.
Between the fence and the school building. Up, yes. I go near the wall so that the people in that compound may not be able to see the amount of guards nakedness. You know, finish from there. I'm just telling you life before I met her. So follow the story. It will be an awesome series. Stay with us in this part 5. I think it's going to be about 5 or 6
series.
Yes. So you're going to learn a whole lot. So finish bathing, I'll change and I'll pack up my things in the conference room, keep it storage so that nobody will know because people go to work there. And I'll sit downstairs while Ojo was not coming and up. So after church, one day my music director, Mrs. Uju or Duce, works in the bank. I cannot call the name for copyright reasons. You know, she saw me one day and was like, where are you going? Because when we finish from rehearsal or service, I'll just hang around the premises, hang around until everybody will leave. When they leave, I finally now go upstairs to my place and sleep. I had one small 14-inch television. I will use wire to connect the antenna so I can watch TV. And so at one point, somebody brought, I think, PS2. So in that my state, I was still playing game. I was talking about game in the future. So inside the poverty and the wahala,
you still have PS2.
Somebody got a game. Yeah, I was playing in the night. So I was sleeping on the table with rapper. I think from there, when I left church, man of God actually squatted with a lady. We need to say that one, you know, so that you know that when we preach and say some things, we have seen these things. So we tell you, you can actually go through crisis and not give up and not compromise. It's very true. There's a point there was nowhere to sleep. There's a lady that actually I call her my consolidator. She's the reason why I stayed in Dominion City. She followed me up. She's called Honor Ifacho. At some point, there was nowhere to squat.
We call her Mame.
So I went to stay in Honor's house. She and her mom were living together, and it was a 3-bedroom flat. I think also the mom was not around for some reason, so she gave me a room. Most of the time, I sleep in the parlor. You know, for about 2 months plus or 3, I can't remember. So one day, my music director Uju Oduche saw me, and where are you going to? What's going on? So I finally opened up to her that, see, I am homeless. You know,
homeless for 3 months.
Yes, and on the spot, she called a colleague who was in our church, a single guy, and he was living alone in a 3-bedroom flat. I said, we need the help. Our drummer, you know, needs accommodation. And I think that same night, the guy called me. He was just living not far from church, about 5 minutes walk from the church, and I went over to his place and started living with him. That was in I think that was around April, yeah, April 2010. So you see, from 2009 when I finished service till April 2010, I was squatting from one place. I think I was squatting like 4 or 5 places plus sleeping in church.
Nnamdi.
Yes, I'm going to get there. So Ugo was his name, Mr. Ugo. So from April 2010. So at some point, around June 2010, I got a blessing. I got a job. But my now assistant choir director, Mr. Femi Okoro, helped me secure a job with the firm. So I started working, but I was still staying in the man's house, squatting with him while I could gather myself. So somewhere around November, he was getting married, you know, and suddenly I found out he was getting married, and I had to leave. At that time, in 2010, I was getting more involved in church, in the youth ministry. So I had someone who was assisting me in the youth ministry called Pastor Nnamdi Woba at that time. So he was living in the next street behind where I was squatting. So most of the time I go to his house, we chill with the family, we watch football.
Sunday rice.
The father is a football fan. We eat Sunday rice and all other things. So suddenly my brother was getting married and I had to go. You know what it means? Getting married immediately, not far, just about a month.
That's the guy.
Plus years to go. So I had to go. And where else can I go? I thought I've gotten a house. I went back to squatting in November 2010 with.
You were squatting with the guy, not like
Yes,
you were in
sorry.
the house. You were
I was not feeling like
squatting.
I have a house because he goes to the bank. It's a 3-bedroom flat. Everything was provided. There was bed. There was everything. So
You are still squatting.
and I felt like assistant landlord, but I was still squatting. So I had to now go back and live with Pastor Nnamdi and his family. Now watch, I was living with Pastor Nnamdi, me, Pastor Nnamdi, 2 of his brothers, his sister, his father and his mother. So we were 7 in a 3-bedroom flat. But the parents saw me as their son because I come to the house every time. We watch football together, we gist, we eat. I go to the kitchen, everything. So I was like, you know, a son to them. So he just spoke with them. I didn't have an issue with that, you know. But I didn't want to stay long. So I was already working. I don't forget, I was still going to work from there.
When you said you were working, how much were you earning?
Okay, my first day on the job, my interview day, they were supposed to start paying me 30,000 naira. 30,000
But you impressed.
But I
you
impressed
showed them.
because even I believe that even in your poor state or your suffering state, keep your integrity alive and keep your appearance alive. I didn't have enough that time, but when I was going for the interview, I think I got my suit, my blue suit. You see the picture later, and my pink. I think I wore a pink shirt. I don't know where pink shirt.
That thing
Poverty
is
bad. A man wearing
that
a
thing
pink
is not
shirt.
blue suit.
A man
If
wearing
you
a
see
pink
the
shirt.
suit, he's a suit.
I'll
I'll show you the picture.
Amazing. And so while they were interviewing me, the lady called Miss Uche at that time, which is the ED of the company. Her father owns the company. She was in our church, and the father walked in and said, "I like this guy. You know, how much are you paying?" He said 30,000, and he said, "No, I just like him. I feel he's smart and I feel he knows." So let's pay him 40. So on the spot, on my first day of work, I got a raise by 10,000. So I began work, you know, with a 40,000 naira salary, you know, at that time. So I'm going to where I meet her. Don't bother. Don't worry. I'm talking about 2010. Now watch. I met her Easter. I've seen her before in church. You know, she was a crazy person. We'll get to that part later.
Me crazy.
You know,
As I'm like this.
you know, when you've done ministry in school, you're a pastor's child, a bishop's son, you are spiritual per se, and you start seeing a girl in a church like Dominion City that comes to church with maybe red hair, low cut red hair, chain on her left ankle, then jeans and polo. She will wear all-star canvas. Sometimes it might be right leg all-star is black, the other one is white. 2 different canvas, the same canvas but different color. And she comes into church. Yes, we have a church in Dominion City. We believe in come as you are. We believe that God will touch you. Even till now, God's power changes lives. So I look at her like, who is this crazy girl that they are allowing come to church with my old school mentality? So I'd seen her in passing. But we went for our national camp meeting in Nsukka.
So you are the holy bro, you know, shirt and tie.
Yeah, shirt and tie.
And you were looking at me.
Suit and all those things.
Me, because I wore jeans.
Like, who is this
an
unholy?
ankle chain.
Yes,
and
unholy
red
person.
hair.
Red hair. Crazy kind of hair. I said, what's this? So I mean, this one never know God, never born again. So we're going for camp meeting, and I was with my keyboard. Don't forget, I was still the drummer of the Dominion City headquarters from 2008 till 2011. So we go for programs together. So myself, my bass is called Dozier, my keyboard is called Bumsinachi, and the second keyboard is called Israel. We were all going together. We finished playing. So on the day we were to come back, Bumsinachi had a car, a 190. So we all come back together, driving as a group, and suddenly a lady was going to join us in the car. You're in the car, Daddy? Yes. So, okay, let's go. I was at the back, myself, her, and Dozier were at the back, while Bumsinachi was driving. I think Israel was in front. Yes. So we all come back together from Nsuka to Enugu after the program. Before I know it, my bassist Dozier fell under the power. So he was sleeping all through the journey. Because me, I like to drive. So when someone is driving me, I don't like to sleep. I want to watch the road and drive with him with my eyes. Israel was busy. So it was just me and her. So.
And then there was a connection.
And then chemistry.
Come on.
Chemistry,
physics started happening.
I started seeing that. But I'm very sure now that I did not remember if she was the crazy person I saw in church. I don't think so. I didn't remember because it's not the kind of person I am.
It's the glory.
Yes. If I remembered, I won't talk with her. I'll just be.
All this spiritual, bro.
Don't mind us. I say they be. I didn't remember. It was okay that they were coming for a program. It's a very spiritual program. Our Easter annual
camp meeting.
You know. And we got talking throughout that 1 hour plus of that journey.
From Nsuka.
But the car was not speeding. So from Nsuka, we talked and talked, and the talk was getting interesting. We were just having good gist. It was flowing.
Oh my God.
It was flowing and flowing and flowing in the car. And thank God, my man go in front, the driver, Mabusanchi, he did not disturb us. As if the Holy Spirit knew what was beginning that day. But you know, shocking, we talked from 12 or so. We got to Enugu. They dropped us because I was not living in New Heaven.
And you were
squatting in Honor's house. So we got talking and they dropped us in New Year when they left. Do you know we got talking and talking and talking?
I followed you to Honor's house.
She escorted me. The gist was so sweet to Honor's house. We talked and talked and talked and gist till evening. I escorted her back to her house because her house is just across the main road.
I live in Avenue. Yes.
Avenue. We went there. We continued talking. This is the first day we are meeting, talking.
Then I escorted you.
Escorted me back to the house. It was not night. So we escorted her back, and that's how we got talking from there. Mind you, I was still squatting, and she was just walking at the time. You know, so. And I think you started the horrific journey.
Yes, but there's a part this guy is missing, right? My mother was sick, right? My mother died before that camp meeting. My mother died in March. She was sick for about 12 years.
Let me give you the gist.
Wait now.
You're talking about before I met her. I just remember. Yeah.
Wait, let me.
It's true.
Let me give the gist that you can corroborate. You know what I'm telling you?
Yeah.
Because this guy has a way of forgetting some things.
It's true.
Hold on, no. As you are seeing me like this, I wasn't the kind of person that wanted all of this very spiritual, bro. Oh my God, the Ponkios born again. It wasn't my kind of guy, right? So my mother was sick. She was sick for 12 years, and I was taking care of her. My life was on a hold. There was no job. I couldn't go to school. All I did was stay in the house morning, afternoon, night, taking care of her and all of that. And then she was so sick to the point of death. And I remember that day I went to church. I was so tired. I talked to our pastor, PCJ. And after some time, one of those days, she was so, she was like in her end of days. I was tired. I decided to stroll to church. Then I strolled to church and I met, I think it was Amari Bekwe. I met Honor, some guys. You guys were in the circle, just gisting and talking. Okay. And then the talk was just progressing. Around 6 or so, they all started going, one by lads. People were going home, And next thing, it was just remaining two of us. Me, I was running from home. I've been at home taking care of my mother, cleaning pool, cleaning urine. I just needed to step out a bit. Him too, he was homeless, and of course there was no place to go.
Whenever you leave, where you go? You have to roam around till 7 o'clock or 8.
So we were walking down Chim Avenue, and then we just kept talking and gisting. Watch this guy.
That was our first experience.
That's our first experience.
Yeah.
We got talking.
True.
We got to a point. I think it was Chinaza's their house in Chime. We sat on a pavement of the house, on the road.
Yeah, true.
And then he said, that's, I just like you. I'm like, huh?
Yeah, I remember.
Huh? Like, I just like you, and, I really want to get married. You know, he told me how his former girlfriend broke his heart and all of that and all of that. But that he feels he's late. Meanwhile, oh, sorry. Oh. Sorry. If they didn't break your heart, you wouldn't have seen me now.
Yeah,
Cool down now.
It's true.
So, this guy you're seeing like that started telling me that he wants to get married. You know, and meanwhile, we are just meeting for the first time. Oh, he just wants to get married. And he was 24. He was 24. Small. This guy was small. Forget that he's big now. It's the food I'm giving him that is making him this. He was small like this. I said to him, then I was not thinking of boyfriend. I was not thinking of husband. I was not thinking of anything. So I started telling him, what of that sister? I won't call their names out of respect. What of that sister inquired? He was like, I beg. I said, what of that other one? She said, that one said he's a small boy. I said, now wow. I said, what of that other one? He said, that one said he's not serious. So I was pointing, and then each of the girls, I told him, what of this, what of that? He will tell me the reply that they gave him when he told them wanted to get married. I'm like, thank God for it. Sure, you want to be pastor now? Find all these choir people, ushering, all of those people. Yeah, the kind of persons that you will marry. And he says, what if I marry you? I say, yes.
No, you know, don't mind, I'm a very straightforward person. I don't like playing around the boy.
First day, I'm just meeting this guy. I don't even know.
Amazing.
But he was fine, Sha. He fine, small.
Amazing.
He said, what if I marry? I say, me. Marry you, I said, no, you cannot marry me. Yeah, maybe you want to be a pastor. I cannot marry pastor, please. You. And it was like, it's just a G, so you are just sitting and laughing about it. I said, but what if I marry you? I said, oh, God, I cannot marry somebody like you. I looked at him. He will wear this guy, he does not have tie. He will wear shirt, wear tie, wear shoe, talking, and he's not going anywhere. And me, I come from a house of 3 boys. I'm the only girl, and all my brothers are, you know, sneakers, jeans, you know, canvas, polo kind of guys. They were happening guys, you know. We'll play to, you know, like that in the house. So I was like,
no, semi-born again, brethren. Semi-born again.
I was born again.
You're born again, tongue talking, but Tupac is still there. Once in a while, you know.
Yeah. R. Kelly, you know, all those kind of things, you know. So I was like, I beg. He now said, I said to him, Oga, I am going this way. You are going that way.
Yeah.
And because we are going in different directions in life, we can never meet. Then this man go yours. You know what he said to me? He said, what if you're going this way and I'm going this way? I never can tell the road how the road is. And then we go this way, and then there's a turn somewhere, and then we meet here.
Wisdom. You see, that's been a while wisdom won't choke me. Oh, God. You know, see, one thing about women, why I like women, God gives them this heart. You see this part? I did not remember it. Now she's saying it is coming out.
I remember it.
So that means our first meeting was not the Nsukka.
No?
It was Nsukka was our even third meeting.
Yes.
Because second meeting was now.
Hold on.
Wow.
I get the gist. You can't come and forget.
Wow, that's beautiful.
And then he said, well, we'll meet. Like I said, my brother, we can never meet.
Wow.
We can never meet. All this pastor something, I am not in the mood. I don't even want all these structures, you know. I wanted the kind of guy that, you know, you wear bling, wear chain, wear sneakers, be in a car with one hand like that, and then we are driving, you know, and then you're driving. That's the kind of man I'm looking for. Not all these people that used to wear shirt and tie in Medina. So I said to him, no, never, I cannot. So please. Anyway, we ended the gist that day, but at least I was okay because I just needed to gist or talk with people. Because of course I'm going back to a house of gloom. My mother was sick, dying, you know. Anyways, we got back, and it wasn't long after that, about 2 or 3 weeks after that, my mother slept in the Lord. She slept and then she didn't wake up, you know. 2010, March, I think March 10th or so, March 10th or March 16th. And then she died. Now, listen. Ugumsnachi is my friend. Ugumsnachi Emole, the keyboardist. Now, the keyboardist too is his friend. He's the drummer and that's the keyboardist, so they are friends. But me and Ugumsnachi, we are friends because, I mean, we don't sing. So, Emele, my younger brother, is also Ugumsnachi's friend. So imagine, Ugumsnachi is my friend, Ugumsnachi is my younger brother's friend, and Ugumsnachi is his friend.
And her younger brother was part of the sound
Sound
team
people.
in church, so I
Team.
knew him also.
So he also knew my brother differently, but he didn't
Church.
know me. So what happened was, Gusachi heard that Malaika's mother died though. So I was like, I beg, let me go and see. Let me go and see, because he would come to the house and eat Sunday rice. Knew my mother. But before he left, he called this my homeless bro and said, look, my friend's mother just died. I'm going to their house. Let's stroll now. Join
Don't
me.
forget,
Let's
at that
go.
time, early 2010, I still had not gotten my job or started staying with Mr. Ogona. I was still squatting.
He was
But
still
at that time,
squatting.
one of our elders in church in Enugu now,
You were in Nana's house. You were in
I
Nana's
think
house.
so.
Yes.
Now, called Uncle Sam, gave me a job as a site manager for him in MNA close to the airport. So he was building a house. I was going there to count block, rod, pay workers every day. So I was there when he called me and said, Ada Mama don't die. Emilia Mama don't die, because I didn't know her, like the name. Emilia Mama don't die. Come, we will go their house. So he came with his car to pick me up from the site. Yes.
And then both of them arrived. Now, listen, my mother just died. And we just took her body. In fact, she died by 12. I had to clean her up, straighten her hands, straighten her, wore her clothes. I washed, I bathed her while she was dead, bathed her, covered her, and then kept her straight on the bed. And me and my brother stayed awake from that 12 midnight till 6 in the morning. Let me tell you, you see night, and night is far. That kind of, you will stay, you will sleep and wake up, and it's just 1 o'clock. You will sleep again, you will wake up, it's just 1:30. Anyway, we endured that throughout the night with the dead body in the room till the next morning before they took her out. And people were coming, oh, your mother died, oh, I'm so sorry. I sat in the parlor, in the center table in the parlor, just greeting people. She's dead, oh, thank God, oh, no problem, oh, console, oh, no problem. This brother and Oguruzachi walks into my house. I know Oguruzachi, I'm like, guy, how far? Mom, sit down there. Yeah, now, wow, waiting happen, we are talking. Then this brother sat down on a chair and was smiling. So when I'm greeting other people, I will look at him and say to myself, who is this madman? What exactly is making this guy smile while every other person is, either in tears or they are in pain? Because my mother just died. They just removed the body. And I'm talking to my friend, and this guy that came with him is busy smiling. I kept wondering exactly what is going to be money. What's wrong with this one? But because I didn't know him, I didn't know, his relationship with the group snatching, I just looked at him. I'm like, we're going to see Alpha, and then we kept talking. Uncle, sharp, tell them what was in your mind.
Okay, so I got in there and we just heard. I heard that okay, the elder brother was not there, was not around, or was out, he was not feeling well because of the trauma and all that happened with the mother, and everybody was. So I saw one girl. You see, the problem I had. I think I didn't picture again. She was the person I saw that last time. We just talked. It was in the evening.
Then it was in the evening, and we were just a group of friends. So we were basically two strangers just
talking.
Yes.
So I saw her. She was the lady in the house, consoling the brothers. The way she was talking to people. Yeah, thank God it's going. It don't happen now. Don't thank God. They're okay. My brother is not too fine, but everybody fine. But she want to welcome people. Normally, when a mother dies, it's the girl that's supposed to be wailing, that's supposed to be crying, that's supposed to be weeping, scattering chair.
I'm strong, man.
Chair, tearing things and rolling on the ground, and let everybody be consoling her. You get my point? So I was like, what kind of a strong woman is this? Now, what I'm going to say now, we also add up to another thing we're supposed to talk about later, which is how did we know we were the one?
Talk about it.
Now, so I saw a very strong girl in the face of challenge, in the face of something very tragic that's happened to her. She's still strong. She's still holding on. She's still the one talking to people, calming down two younger brothers. And I also heard she was one that also helped to take care of the elder brother when he was not too okay, or like nearly passed out or something. So in my mind, while they are crying for mother that died, I just found my wife. You see now? So why? That's why I was smiling. Why? Because by the help of God, at a young age, God has also helped me with this thing called wisdom and vision.
Sense.
I know
Sense want to finish you.
what I want in a woman. Why? My family. I grew up from a home where my father is a pastor, he's a visionary person, he runs around to make money and ministry. But my mother is strong. You know, I've seen my mother strong.
Have you seen
the
Pastor
family
Boy's
business.
mother? His mother is quiet, but that woman is concrete.
Very strong woman.
Concrete inside.
You know, loving,
quiet, loving,
but strong.
No, she's strong.
You know, I've seen her run the
Mom's
family
strong.
business for almost 30 something years.
Here's a picture of Momsi. You see this fine woman like this? Are you see this fine woman? As you're seeing her with all her smile, this woman is strong. She's anointed. She's strong. She's loving. I mean, I take her like my own mother. That's Momsi. That's it. Can you see my fine mother-in-law? Can you see her? Can you see that both of them resemble?
So I've always wanted to say, okay, the wife I'm going to get married to is a woman where even when I'm not around, I travel for ministry, for a lot of other things, I know the house is taken care of. The kids are solid, you know, business is going to be running. I already know I'm going to be a businessman. I already know I'm going to be rich because my father was, you know, when I left the house. So we're doing quite well. And my mother held the business like this, and she was a risk taker when things were not working for the business, when they had to sell everything, sell the cars, sell the house they had. She wasn't complaining. She said, let's go ahead, we'll make it back again, the business will run again. That was the kind of mother, you know, I had. And I said, this is the kind of wife, you know, I would love to have. So the moment I saw her being strong in that crisis, being strong in that issue, whatever is going on, I just knew I have found my mother when I would get married to, because the kind of woman I said is the kind of woman that would be like my mother. And just I was smiling. I just told myself, why you people are finding cry for burial? Me, I came to see wife. That's why I was just smiling. So everybody was shocked. She was wondering why I was smiling, because once in a while our eyes would cross, you know, path. And
I was eyeing him back at you. I didn't know why this guy was
smiling, yes.
you know, smiling like that. Okay, so that was how we met, and then we exchanged numbers. We started talking. And then, of course, he came for my mother's burial. After the burial, we started talking. Before we now went for camp meeting, and then we talked all through.
Yes.
And funny enough, after the camp meeting, right, we went home, did all of that talk. Of course, that was how the friendship, in quotes, we started. But man, I don't know what I felt. I felt this guy was fine. Now, guys, please look at this picture. Please tell me if this guy was fine, because me, I don't know what I saw. I used to think this guy was cute. I used to think he was beautiful. I used to think like, oh my God, this guy is so cute. Now I'm looking at these pictures. Please just take a look. Just take a look. That's the picture. That's the picture. See the picture of him looking like hunger want to kill him. That's the guy that proposed to me. That's the guy, right? I don't know how I felt this guy was fine, but I felt it was fine then. But now looking at you, man, hunger want to kill you.
Not just that time, a lot of persons think I think. I've always been fine, you know. The fact is there is refining. When God starts blessing you, you get better and better and better.
You have been refined.
That picture now, it's a picture, it's amazing. You know, I still wonder how I wear a blue suit and an orange color long sleeve.
There's one I used to wear red red shirt and red tie.
Red shirt, red tie, blue suit or black suit. We used to dress, you know, fun those days. But it's what we had. We had to look good for the Lord, walk in God's house, and make sure our assignment, you know, is working, you know, pretty very, very, very well. So that's how we met. That's how I met her on the day of tragedy, and we became friends, and we got talking from there.
We got talking, and then when we became friends, he now started telling me that he likes black ladies, he likes black, and you know, in my mind, I'm wondering, hey, Uncle, just look at me. I am not black, and there is no blackening cream. And he'll be like, no. Then he of course, he will fill my ears with, you know, the stories of his failed relationship. He was in a relationship, this girl, God bless her soul, she died recently, but she was in a relationship with a lovely girl called Lolia. Lolia is black and beautiful. Pastor Boy's shall get high. Black and beautiful girl, and the lady broke his heart. Tell me about it.
Yeah, we're friends from school. We met in school, and we're in same fellowship, you know, and all that. I also was close to our elder sister called Soton, and all. They left before us, and so we got talking, and I liked her, and our relationship kicked off. I was going very well. I became family to them. I know the mom, know the brother, everybody. Sometimes I go to Port Harcourt, I'm in their house, so it was beautiful, you know. But sometimes, you know, when you have a vision and you know what you want, many persons think you are joking. I've always told her I'm going to be a pastor. I know it. There's a calling of God on my life. Nothing will take it away. You know, she said, okay, don't worry. After you do school, when we are out of school, we will know if you are still serious about it. So I was done with school 2006, and I think she was done 2007 or so. So there was a time I was in Enugu serving 2008. I was to go back home to see my parents, and I wanted to pass through Port Harcourt, see her and the family before I go. So she said she really needed to see me. That was December 2008. I said, okay, I'm even trying to come and see you, so let's see. So I got to Port Harcourt and we met at a restaurant. I can't remember the place again. Total Junction. And we got talking, gist, talk, we're eating. And she had to tell me, nice guy you are, nice guy, love your drive, your vision and everything. But I thought you were joking, but you are serious. You didn't do anything to me, I don't hate you, whatever, but I do not think I can be a pastor's wife. That was basically it. I don't think I can be a pastor's wife, and is she sure about it? Yes. And okay. It was devastating. Till date, that was my worst Christmas ever.
Heartbreak.
It was bad. I love that. I know she loved me.
Not just, excuse me, please, don't be saying I love that as if it's just small love. This guy don't even say was, we are married for 10 years. You see, Pastor Boy, he's still in love with Lolia. Let's not come and be. He loved this girl.
Yeah, she was
2 years, 1 year, 2 years in a relationship. I heard stories upon stories. Lolia this, Lolia that, Lolia.
We have to talk about it.
Even me, I'd be like this, like, oh, okay, my brother, I'm listening to this Lolia story. So me and Lolia, we went to school. Me and Lolia, we were in the same church. Me and Lolia, we were singing. I'm not the jealous type. I don't have issues with jealousy. That I had, in fact, I'm just coming from tragedy myself. So what I did was, for me, I found a guy that talked. I've been in a lot of issues in my life. I've been through pain. My mother has been sick for 12 years. My father is dead. My mother has been sick for 12 years.
She used to be a very asthmatic. So all together.
So, and I was asthmatic then. I was always, trying to die. They always saving me, So at the point in my life, I just wanted a guy that, it wasn't about money. When I met him, he was always talking. So I just sit down, me that can talk. But then, I just sit down, he'll be talking and talking. I just be listening and laughing. He'll tell me stories of Lolia, how they went to school, stories of his school days and all of that. So I practically knew this Lolia. In fact, even when I got married, Pastor Bowei still dragged me
to meet her.
Lolia had married though, had 4 children. After we got married, not that he didn't love me, but a first love is a first love. You understand? There was a place in his heart where this lady was. I didn't have an issue with it. So at some point, even when we got married and we didn't have a child, then we'll talk about it. I went to Port Harcourt. He called Lolia to come and carry me. Lolia came, carried me from the park. I went to her house, greeted, talked with her husband. Then she took me to where I stayed. That's how Pastor Bowei loved. But Lolia died.
Yeah. So the relationship ended. Our mom was not happy with it. Don't forget how we were so close. I was the best man in Lolia's elder sister's wedding, so you can know how it was a family because we were all in the same campus. The elder sister got married to my pastor, Pastor Derek. So but years later, I think 2 years ago, we got the news that she passed. I think
she was shot dead.
Assassination or so. It was another devastating day.
And then Pastor Bowei was devastated. Let me tell you how it was. I come back to the house one day and I'm seeing Pastor and he looks at me and says, they shot her. I said, who? Now, we've been married for 8 years, 8 years, right? I said, they shot. I said, who? He said, they shot Lolia. I knew there was trouble. So me, I'm like, they shot Lolia. I'm like, hey, God. Even me, I'm like, Pastor Bowei, sorry. Hey, God, how are you? Lolia is dead. Everybody that knew Pastor Bowei from their university days. Everybody called him. You will think it was his wife, that because they knew how he loved the girl. Everybody, do you know that people were calling Pastor Bowei to console him?
Yeah.
That Lolia died. Lolia that they, I mean, I've been married for 8 years at this point. Pastor Bowei was for 2 weeks. Even me, I could not talk in the house. I was like, what will you eat? Should I massage your back? Should I comb your hair? Should I leave the room so that you can take breeze? Because you see this one.
You know when you have somebody you just met and a relationship, your first real relationship, and you were supposed to get married. It's not, we're not doing. I never believed in boyfriend, girlfriend, left and right. No. I believe when I see somebody I like, I want to get married. I don't waste time. Whether I want to marry at 19 or 21, it was not an issue for me. You know, that was how she meant a lot to me. And we didn't just throw away. Yes, we understood later that, oh, it's not a must. You don't want to be a pastor's wife. You think the stress of ministry, but live your life, be happy. I still talk to the husband.
They were friends, yes.
We were all friends.
We were friends, yes.
They come to my city for work. The man works in the oil company. They come and visit. I go see them, see the children. And that was how it was. It was bad, it was short. And may I so rest, in peace. So that was my one and only major heartbreak, December 2018. I went back home. It was bad. I couldn't eat for Christmas. I couldn't eat for New Year. My parents had to console me, laugh at me. My brothers and my cousins, my uncles, all of them were yabbing me. But, that is how it was. As they will say, that God always also plans the future, for you.
Until,
as that happened,
in 2010,
2 years later,
the Lord, in His graciousness, brought me,
yes,
to clean up all the pain. The heartbreak. Your heart was broken, but I came to mend it.
And that's how we met.
I mended the heart.
And we are here today.
I used love to mend. I blocked the heart from all the pain. So that's how we met. It wasn't long after that. I think we met in March. We got talking, and guess what? September, he proposed.
As we met in March 2010.
Yes, September.
Yes,
September 2010, he proposed.
6 months later.
Yes, 6 months later, he proposed, said he wanted to marry me. But, in that 6 months of being friends or being in a relationship, somewhere in my heart, I liked this guy, but I just didn't like the way he looked. Can you imagine? Pastor Bowei will want to come and visit me in my house, my parents' house, right? He will wear shirts. There's a red shirt you used to have red, and there's a red shirt, there's an orange shirt. He will wear red shirt. He will wear red tie. He will wear one trouser that they have finished, the trouser, I don't know whether it's black or brown. He will tuck in. He will wear shoe, and he will come and visit me. And when he comes, my brothers are looking at him like,
she has 3 brothers.
Me too, I'm looking at him like, welcome. Where are you coming from? Where are you going to? He says he's not going. He came to visit me. I say, hello, my brother. Are you coming from church or you're going to? Because you're wearing suit, you're wearing shirt and tie, and he says, yes, that he dressed up to come and see me. My heart, oh God. What kind of man is this? How can you come to visit a girl you say you love? There's some days you will wear suit. Suit with orange shirt, bikono. Just look at me. And I'm wondering, I asked him one day, don't you have jeans? Don't you have sandals? He never had jeans. Jeans is for worldly people.
But I was not overly spiritual, like Spirikoko.
His Spirikoko was.
I just believe dress decent.
His Spirikoko was Pontius. He was Pontius born again. He did not have canvas, one in his life. He did not have jeans, one in his life. All his clothes were plain trousers and shirt that he be talking. So I said, don't you have shirts? Don't you have trousers, jeans, sneakers? He said, no. But he likes to dress like this. I'm like, okay. Then sometimes he'll bring his phone and he's playing a song. Do you know all of these choir songs, All of these, what's those kind of choir? Mass choir kind of songs. Give me one.
Brooklyn
Tabernacle Choir that they used to reach.
Joe Pace.
He be playing, give me one song like that.
I'm a drummer now.
So he just be doing, he's like, now come, sweetie, come. Can you hear this song? Can you hear what they are playing? And I'm like, those kind of songs that choir used to sing, praise praise the Lord, oh, praise the Lord, bam, 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 praise the Lord. That's the kind of song. And then when he's playing the song in my I'm like wondering, like, Chimebome, is it what I'm going to be doing with this man? I'm like, can you hear the drum? Can you hear what they're playing? Bang! Hey God. Meanwhile, me, I'm playing stuff like Storm is Over, you know, or I'm playing R. Kelly, I'm playing Casey and Jojo all my life, you know, Westlife, what else?
Don't forget, she was playing those songs because she was an OAP, a radio person. She has been a radio person for a while. So those songs are always songs.
These are the songs that we play,
Yes.
you know, in my house. I wasn't a party one type, or I wasn't going to party, I wasn't going to club, but I was just, you know, I was a what's up Christian, man. I knew what's up. But this one, his born again was punkious. So imagine me with sneakers and jeans and bling bling, and a guy that wears shirt and tie, and all he knows is church, choir, house. I don't get it. But somehow, you know, because we talk, we sit down a lot, we talk, we gist. When he comes to my house, we sit at the balcony and we can talk for 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, you know. And because it was a family house,
Yeah.
my brothers, my mother just died here, so it's a family house that we've lived since 1993. That we've stayed in that house for 20 years. And of course, in my house, doors are usually not closed. So even when he comes, and let's say my other brother is in the parlor or something is happening, and maybe I'm in the room, he wants to come to the room, my room was always that kind open. You know, that kind of house where, you know, the 3 rooms are open, and so everybody is passing and going to one room or the other, you know, before the devil will come and tempt the children of the Lord. You get what I mean? So the doors were always open, so we'll sit down and just sometimes we'll stay in the kitchen. But one thing that I liked about him was we always talk. There was always, you know, talk. We can sit down and we can gist for 3 hours, 4 hours, you know. He made me happy. We will talk, we will gist, we will laugh. It was fun. We were not going out because he did not have kobo, you know. Me too, I wasn't a going out person, right? But each time he came, we'll sit down. Of course, he was also eating Sunday rice because man of God got to chop.
Very important, very important.
He was always eating Sunday rice in my house. So just before we round up now, let's just talk about the relationship how it was. We did it from 2010 to 2012 when we got married. We met March and then we got married.
Yeah.
That's why today is 12 May, it's our 10 years wedding anniversary, right? So we did it for 2 years, and in those 2 years, man of God was still struggling, you know that she should not get money. He also lost that job that he got, and then PCJ sent him to go and pastor the youth church. So he started the youth church and then started pastoring him and some, bunch of 16, 17-year-olds, and that was how we were in a relationship then. Then September of that same 2010, I got a job, Blaze FM or Rifite. My boss, Mr. Jikato, gave me a job, and then I had to relocate to Anambra in one interior village like that for 2 years. So our relationship, both of us being together, was between just March when we met and September. By September, I was gone. And for the rest of the relationship, from September 2010 till we got married in May of 2012, we were shuttling, between Orifte. Sometimes he comes to Orifte to come and see me. He stay in my boss's house, and then stay maybe the weekend, stay in the, of course, that was also how we got into radio. When we found out too that he too can analyze sports, he joined our sports team while I was the head of operations. He was my staff, he was in sports team. So for the 2 years, weekend, I'll go to Enugu, do Saturday, Sunday, Monday morning, I'm back to Orifite in Anambra State. Then him, sometimes he'll come in the weekend. So that was how we actually ran this relationship. Yes, there are a lot of quarrels though, because when you are doing long distance, sometimes you don't understand yourself.
On the phone, somebody says one thing, somebody says no. You don't know what they mean by no. Somebody says yes, you don't understand the kind of yes they are saying. So it was 2 years of ups and downs. That's why I always tell people, don't rush into this thing. Know the person very well, because you need to understand them. 1 year, 6 months, 3 months is not enough. You need to find out about them, their temperament, how they behave, how they handle issues. And imagine, especially when you're not doing long distance, you have to take your time to make sure those things are working well. So she was working, earning money.
I was working 100K.
I was
Uncle
not,
was struggling.
As a 2010, no, I was working, but managing
Okay.
the small salary I was getting
Then you lost the
until Valentine's Day, February 14, 2011. I lost that job, and by April that same year, I was sent to go and plant a church, a teens and a youth church in Enugu. We started that one. That same April was when I started my little business in quote, my little company that we have that's running to today. And for the first 1 year of that company, you know, money was not coming.
5K, 7K,
10, 15,
20,000,
20,000, and those kind of money I was getting. And don't forget, out 2011, we were already planning to get married in 2012. So we're going to be hearing about after this segment of the relationship. We're going to be hearing about the proposal, the marriage, the plan for the wedding, and all those other things. So they're coming next. So it was a relationship of ups and downs, misconceptions, misunderstandings. We travel, we come back, you see her, you come back. In that same course of time, she was able to make up some monies and got
I bought a car, Ford.
A Ford Focus.
But I call it a Ford with the issue of blood.
You know,
a car that I bought 400K.
400,000.
Imagine how the car was
served. The car served this time. Because for almost a year that car was running, and I was using it majorly in Enugu because
you see at some point I gave him the motto.
We're going to get to that point soon, you know, so you can know when you are choosing a wife, you have to choose a wife with wisdom. Why am I saying that? You know, at that point of time, I was not really having a lot of money. It was a relationship going on now, because the way you project your spouse, either the female in your life or the male in your life, to your family, determines how they will see the lady or see her. One lesson you need to learn from this episode now: present them. Why? She was earning money. She had a supportive boss too, was trying to help her. So she asked maybe 350. She needs to make up money. He will give her 50 and say, buy what you want to buy a car. So she got a car. I was driving it to Enugu. I would drive it back to Orifite to see her, bring it back. Sometimes she goes with it, comes back. So what happened? She told her aunties. I know they are shocked now. They'll be hearing for the very first time. Our brothers will be shocked today. She got the family. She told them that it was me that bought her the car.
Oh God!
And from that day they were hailing me bishop, boss, chairman, master. That's why my name came out in their house. Till today they call me either bishop or call me master. Why? Who is this guy that wants to marry our sister and bought her a car?
Come on.
Then that time Nokia C7 just came out. She bought it brand new. I think it was 60,000, 70,000. I can't remember.
50,000.
She told them I bought her the phone. So wow, this brand new phone, Nokia fine phone and a car.
Big Nokia like that.
For our sister, this guy na master, this guy na senior man. But me no say, I never even saved 160,000 for my house rent. Because my first house, after I left Personality's house, December 25th, Christmas Day 2010, was when I moved to my first house. It was a 3-bedroom flat in the outskirts of Enugu, in a place called Emene.
You know the kind of place where you call it AK Express, AK. That house, in fact, after our house, you have left Enugu.
After our house, 2 minutes later, you are in Ebonyi State. I'm serious. And it was close to the NNPC depot, and also the rent was 160,000
160K
plus other little monies, and I did not have money. I had about 60-something thousand.
Yes. 40? No.
I bought curtain and no,
bros, cool down.
Wait,
don't come and be
I bought curtains, carpets.
Which carpet? Small carpets in the panel.
Yes, now I bought curtain, carpet. I bought DVD, 5,000 naira.
Oh God.
God. So what happened? I need to move. And our boss was a very beautiful guy.
Have you met my boss?
It's my media mentor. He's our boss, our trainer and everything. And she went to him and said, this guy wants to marry me, nice guy, good guy. I met him, okay. He needs to get a house. So she said she was going to loan me the money. And I think she got from him. He loan gave it to
my boss gave 100,000 for that house rent.
Yes.
Me too. I put 20K on top the money. That's 120,000.
Get the point. So
he now brought 48,000.
I think it was more, but
no, it's 168.
For the rent
was 168,000. So bossman gave us 100,000. Me, I gave two. So I
bought 48.
You now brought 48,000.
So 168 to pay for a 3-bedroom apartment inside. That's why it was cheap. Down. I will pay it. So I just got a little small money. I think my boss, that year gave us bonus. Mr. Oji, the owner of Okana Nigeria Limited. So I got small curtain, what are they calling it? Carpet, stove, little pot,
and one phone
and one bed. Yes, and one phone. So I was sleeping in the parlor. The parlor was my house, and that was how the relationship was going. I didn't have a television set. I was close to my boss's son. some to Chukwuoji. And one day they told me that there's a TV that is spoiled in their house that they want to throw away, 14 inches TV. That it doesn't know if it's really bad. I took it, repaired it to about 500 naira, 1,000 naira, and I had the television in my house. And that was how I started living my own life. I call him my son now, but at that time he was my partner, Pastor Namdi, helped me move, and we moved into my house on Christmas Day. Watch. DSTV was doing a promo. Buy 2, get 1 free, or buy 3 for 10,000 naira. Dish and decoder. I didn't have money. So she bought, I think 3. One for your house in Orifite, one for Bossman's house, and she gave me 1. So it was on that day we took generator and installed the DSTV, paid it for 1,500 or 2,000 naira.
It's 1,500.
DSTV, whatever, and we installed it, and that was how it was. I took 2 plastic chairs from church and I had a plastic table in my house. That was where I was living. And I think in my 1 year of living there, I started living there 2010 December, 2011 December. So in 1 year and 5 months of living there, I think she came there only twice or 3 times. Because she was busy, she was working outside. So imagine me wanting to marry somebody, we were already planning marriage. That was my house. 2 plastic chairs, plastic table, carpet, 1 bed, and curtains to cover only the parlor and the room where I changed. And that was what I had.
All the other rooms were empty.
So with that kind of life, the family believed I bought her a car because she told them that.
That's because they never visited the house,
exactly.
So they didn't know where he
They had no business coming to my house. She told them I bought her a phone, so they believed I was doing well. I was a sacrificial person. I have a car, but her assistant. Sometimes she drives it and comes back. Sometimes you drive it and then you go and all. And that was how the relationship was going. It was awesome. There were times of trials, but it was just the wisdom of God and the kind of heart she had and the kind of training she had from my pastor, who was her father at that time, PCJ, to make them understand that relationship, money is not everything. You find a guy with vision that knows where he's going to, that knows what he wants to achieve. If God has blessed you, support him and see where he's going. Also, to us, beauty is not everything. Just find a girl who is smart.
Please, I'm beautiful. Look at
Yes. Don't look at what I'm saying.
No, please. First of all,
you're
look
beautiful. People go and pursue just the container. She must be fine. She must have hip. She must have this. Have you not seen the picture? We'll show you the pictures of how we were when we got married. There was no hips. There was no flesh. There was no nothing. It was just face. But beyond the face, we go for intellect, wisdom, integrity, and someone that has the fear of God, that can see, through.
I got the eye of the future.
That was how the relationship was. So what I've told you now is before we met, how we knew we were the person, and how we ran the relationship, for 2 years before we got married.
So the next one was going to be how I'm going to tell you how he proposed. If I tell you how this guy proposed, you will pity me. If it was you that they proposed the way they proposed to me, you will not marry him, I'm telling you. So I'm going to tell you how the guy proposed. This guy like this, how he proposed, how we planned our wedding. That's in the next episode, how we planned our wedding and how everything went, okay, and how it was for us. That is the next one that we will be doing. Yes. And of course, we'll talk about the challenges we had and then how we did our wedding and all of that. That will be in the next episode. We've got to go. We spent 1 hour with you. Thank you so much, guys, for staying with us on this one. It's our 10 years wedding anniversary, and we just want to show you. It's going to be a series, right? It's going to be a 5-part series. This is part 1. We still have 4 more parts to go. We're going to tell you a lot of things, our challenges. Just stay with us. Every Tuesday, every Thursday, we'll do this live video, okay? We'll come live every Tuesday and every Thursday, and then that is what we're going to talk about for the next 5 weeks, telling you from beginning to 10 years, x-raying 10 years of our lives, how it's been. Thank you so much for staying. All of you who are here, thank you so much. I can see all of you. Thank you for joining us. Please don't forget to subscribe. And whenever we come online, please now, just share the link, copy the link, share to your friends, let them join us, and I'm sure you would learn a lot from our life being married for 10 years. It's our 10 years wedding anniversary, and it's the series. Thank you very much. See you again.
Next episode.
On the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.